Welcome to the Oxford Community Center's podcast about Brown Box Theater Project's performance of the Broadway Jukebox. I'm Muffin Whitney, and recently I talked by phone with Taustin, founder of Brown Box Theater and director of the Broadway Jukebox. Brown Box Theater is a returning favorite to Oxford that has a great cabaret event planned for us. I'll give you all the details on attending the performance at the end of this podcast. Kyler, what was your inspiration for the Broadway Jukebox?
I first was exposed to this idea of the Broadway Jukebox from an idea that was given to us from our sister company in Querétaro, Mexico, Ícaro Compañía Teatral. They did a version of this idea where the audience was able to select the music that was performed for their show. We've taken that idea, renamed it to the Broadway Jukebox, and made it into more of a production, something that has the full scope of an evening of theater with an arc for both the actors, but more specifically for our audience. Enjoy the idea of having a say on what is performed each night. So we have taken this idea of what Ícaro was doing, which was a bit more improvisational and in a different scale, and taken it to a scale that is tolerable for us, and allows for us to have a sense of sharing all of these different styles of music with our communities that we visit. So everything from Golden Age classics to songs that are on Broadway right now in musicals, and really give the audience a sense of both hearing some things they know and exposing them to some ideas and some songs and some stories and voices that they may not have heard before.
Giving the audience the chance to choose the numbers adds such an interesting aspect to the performance. Have you noticed any regional or geographical differences to what people choose?
We have not toured very far yet, just in the first few phases of our tour as it is right now. But even from night to night, we are seeing, based off whether it's the age of the audience or seeing the exposure they've had to the music before and to the musical theater style, see that there's people leaning more heavily towards names they might recognize versus people who might be a little bit more interested in taking a risk and hearing something new that they've never heard before. Thankfully, there's a little bit of everything for anyone, and no matter which night you come, you'll most likely hear something you know and love, and something that you may have never heard before. But we are very excited and are actually going to be keeping data on what songs were the biggest hits, what got the most votes.
Without having a chance yet to crunch the data, is there one particular song or entire musical that appears to be a constant favorite so far?
So far, I would say that numbers like Being Alive from a Sondheim hit, or Don't Rain on My Parade, and then Rent also has a lot of big draw, and a lot of people recognize the music from that production and that musical. I think those are probably three that have regularly gotten picked so far, and then I think people have also been really intrigued by hearing different numbers from some of the newer musicals that they may not have heard. Groups fine-tune and figure out what they want to hear each night. It's definitely an exciting adventure for us each night to determine what are we going to do.
What song would you choose if you were a member of the audience at the Oxford Community Center on Sunday, May 27th? What would be your choice if you had to narrow it down to just one?
I have the lucky honor of getting to pick what songs are always done. And so in particular, our opening number is a medley of all these different opening numbers from different musicals. And that will always happen just to kind of launch us into the production. So I have the I get the honor of picking that since I directed the show and knowing which ones go. If I had to vote for one, I might say a song called Me in the Sky from a musical Come From Away, which is currently on Broadway. I think it's unique in its style. It's new to a lot of people, and the way the story is told is very special and unique, and has a lot of resonance for me as an individual. And I think Michelle, who's performing it, is doing a magnificent job, and it's a really special piece.
Oh, well, that's a good one to highlight for all of us to look forward to. Liza Ledford, who's the executive director, the new one, at the Oxford Community Center, has praised your production values. How difficult is it to maintain those high standards when you're a traveling company and when your performance changes each night based on the audience choices?
Those are two very separate portions. So us maintaining quality and professionalism and our high standards on a tour, no matter what, is something that we are always working towards. The idea of having to set up and break down every night at different venues is a challenge that a lot of theaters do not have to tackle. But we have come up with protocols and logistics, and really as a collaborative and as a team, we are able to bring these shows together and make sure that we are able to bring this same high quality production to each venue that we tour to. That is our mission, that is our goal, and that is what we pride ourselves on being able to achieve. The Broadway Jukebox adds that special component of the fact that we don't necessarily know what show we're going to do tonight. If we need a specific prop, or if we need a costume change, we have had to prepare the actors, the technicians. Everyone has to be ready for anything. And so there is, we rehearse this show in a manner that allows for them to continuously change no matter what happens. So if we have to skip a song because it wasn't selected tonight, or if we do each number in a row, that it really is something that we've been working very hard to make sure that no matter what the audience throws at us based off their selections, that we're prepared and that we're able to, again, perform at a high standard, high quality, and give a phenomenal performance no matter what is selected.
If you're ever looking for another name for the Broadway Jukebox, I think it ought to be On Your Toes, because it sounds as though you have to be on your toes all the time.
True. We have to be prepared to jump from one number to the next. And sometimes there might be a different number in between, and sometimes there might not be. And then on top of that, there's the component of having to shift genres or shift tones so rapidly. You can go from a Disney tune that you know and love immediately into a Sondheim ballad, and have to journey there as an actor, as an ensemble, and as an audience. So we do. Everyone's on our toes, and everybody has to be prepared. And we ask that of the audience as well. Be flexible, be adaptable, and be ready for anything. And it's a lot of fun.
Speaking of fun, the Oxford Community Center is encouraging the children who come, well, and not just the children, there's no age limit, but everyone should come dressed in costumes representing their favorite musical character. Who would you come dressed as?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like Disney offers the best options when it comes to what to dress up as. I think the kids, whether it's coming as someone from Frozen or Aladdin or Little Mermaid, we have things from all of those shows, and that's really an exciting opportunity.
Do you have one favorite character or a few favorite that may not lend themselves to costumes, but that have become your favorite characters?
I would say that some of my favorite numbers and the characters and the journeys that are taken on in song are either coming through a song like Don't Rain on My Parade or Everybody Says Don't. These inspirational characters who are facing the odds and facing society's pressures to face those challenges, and people saying don't, people saying you can't do something, and being able to stand up and say, yes, I can, and I'm going to do it. I think the inspirational components of those pieces, the drive and the passion and the energy that it takes to face the odds is something that I respond really well to. And so those characters and the perspectives that those actors are achieving inside those numbers is really beautiful to watch.
Your cell phone has a Maryland number. Do you have Maryland roots?
I am originally from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, in Berlin, and I was born and raised in Worcester County, and my family lives and works in Ocean City and around the area. And I come regularly for family visits, and then also that's really why Brown Box tours to Delmarva, is having been born and raised there and acknowledging that when I was young, there was very little access to the performing arts in particular. You had to travel to D.C. or travel to New York if you were lucky enough to be able to actually see high-quality professional performing arts. So as an organization, our mission is to bring high-quality theater to these communities and to break down the geographic and financial barriers that separate audiences from the arts. And there's an educational component to that. We work with local schools. There's also these tours that are going directly into people's neighborhoods, trying to give them easy access to the performance. That is where I, having been born there, recognize the need and also can recognize the value of what, as the arts are growing on the Eastern Shore, really being able to see the values that that's bringing to our community.
What else do you want the audience to know about the Broadway Jukebox and how to enjoy it to the utmost?
I would say be ready for anything. Come ready to explore a whole different, huge array of music and different styles and different ideas and different voices. The fact of the matter is, we're not going to give you a plot. There is not necessarily a story that you're going to follow here. But instead, you're going to get these little slivers, these little taste tests of all of these different stories and all of these different genres, and it'll help you and or guide you through what musical theater has to offer. And you'll be able to then figure out what you like and what you don't, and what you enjoy, and what's nostalgic, and what's new and fresh and exciting. And so coming in with an open mind and an open heart and being ready to explore this medium is really all we can ask for. And then also remember to come early, because we want you to get to cast your vote. So if the show is starting at 8 o'clock, I recommend getting there around 7:30, 7:35, so that you get to cast your vote and make your selection, so that we can take that into account when we're selecting what's going to happen that night.
Well, it's an adventure and a journey I can't wait to take, and I hope to see everyone from Oxford and the surrounding areas there. And thank you so very, very much for all of this information.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. I look forward to making my way back to Oxford. We're very excited to share this piece with the community. So check out our website at brownboxtheater.org, where you can get your tickets and make sure that you are ready to cast your vote.
We will all see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Broadway Jukebox will be held at the Oxford Community Center, 200 Oxford Road in Oxford, Maryland, on Sunday, May 27th at 8 p.m. But plan on coming 15 to 30 minutes early so you can vote for your pick of the songs to be performed. Tickets must be ordered from the Brown Box Theater website at brownboxtheater.org. That's BROWNBOXTHEATRE.org. Look on the left where it says May 12th through May 27th, the Broadway Jukebox, then click on the box that says More Information. Scroll down to the May 27th date in Oxford and click on the box that says Get Tickets. Tickets are $21.69, including the service fee. And don't forget, Oxford Community Center Executive Director Liza Ledford invites kids of all ages to come in a costume representing your favorite musical theater character. I'm Muffin Whitney, also known as Nimue from Camelot, and I'll see you in Oxford.